So the question is Martin building a workbench today, or is he fighting a fence post?
No can do.
Let's find out who wins! Welcome to Finding My Place. We are Helen and Martin, and we moved to Ireland to build a new life here. This channel follows our journey from DIY projects and gardening at home to exploring new places across Ireland in our camper van, balancing work and home life and sharing all the everyday moments along the way. Let's get into it.
Today's job is to clear the carport. There's an old wooden fence at the back of the carport. I thought it was a very weak fence. I thought just push it over and it'll fall over. No such luck on that one. So I'm going to clear it all out because it's very hard to clean behind the fence. There's mice that run around there. They love to run up and down behind the fence, a little hiding place for them. So realistically the fence has to go so I can clean the area out and gain a bit more space in the carport and build a big bench so I can use it as a bit of a workshop. Whoever built this fence built it really well because it just wasn't for coming apart. There was a ton of screws up and down each post. The handrail that you see on the right is, you'll see it featured later on as well. It doesn't work very well anymore in case you think it's me. The handrail has been through half a dozen renovation projects, so it's had no shame. It served me really well. I'm going to buy another one exact same so I end up with a spare battery. This is me wrestling with the remaining part of the fence. It's got 3 hinges down the centre, which makes it a bit more awkward. Bearing in mind that it's quite heavy as well, it's heavier than it looks. The hinges were actually covered over with more wood that was screwed in, so I couldn't even get at the hinges to remove those. Bit of brute force does the trick. You can see the mess is gathered up behind. The posts were a lot more solid than they first looked. My guess is they're embedded into the ground using postcrete, so they just weren't for moving. There's a little bit of a wobble, but that's it. The bases, there's probably a couple of feet of post embedded in cement underneath. As you can see, the post isn't for moving, so what we need to do is replace the drill bit. I found this rusty old drill bit in the shed, should do the trick. Let's see how we get on with that. Now, for the next clever bit, using a lever, in this case a pickaxe. Let's see how that works. No can do. Doesn't want to work. Yeah. So much for using a lever. That failed, so plan B. Just chop the thing off. I could lift the flags, but they're a bit tightly packed and I just can't be bothered for now, but I should probably lift them at some point in the future. But for now I'll just chop the top off. My lever failed. That didn't budge it. Stuck solid, it must be cemented in somewhere. My saw failed because the wood is incredibly damp, so the saw just kept sticking. So was hoping for a great YouTube moment, but got to resort now to plan C, which is this thing. If that doesn't work, then we're on to plan D. Watch this space. I wore any safety goggles doing this job, but in my defense, the electric saw is a very safe saw. It's got an automatic start-stop, so as soon as you take your finger off the trigger, it will stop instantly. And the sawdust that comes off it is only dust really. There's no splinters that comes off, and if you take it really slow, it is basically just dust. This last post I've got to be extra careful because it's very low to the floor and there's also a wall behind it, so I've just been very careful I don't touch any of the concrete or the blocks beneath. I just leave the last little bit because I don't want the post to fall over. Just removing some metal from the wall here, an old plant pot holder, and that gives me a chance to clean out the area for a proper good clean out. So you can see how much space I've gained from removing the fence. I then start on the wooden workbench using some off-cut joists from a previous job. Here I'm just putting some wooden laths across the top because the floor is very uneven. And I'm just getting a level here at the top so I know where to cut the tops off so that the bench will be perfectly level. The floor slopes there into the drain in the corner, so it's quite deceiving. There's actually quite a big slope, maybe a couple of inches. I'm just using some tacks that I found lying on the ground. The builders came in and dropped a whole load of nails, so I'm just using a load of leftover nails. I didn't actually buy any new screws or nails for the job, I just used what I found lying around. That's not me being tight, by the way, even though I am tight. That's just me making sure I don't get any punctures when I'm going down the driveway, so picking up all the screws after the builders was a bit of a daily occurrence at one point. So I'm just tacking these in for now just to get a temporary hold. I will use some wood screws later on, and I will purchase some to strengthen it all up. This is just a temporary fix to get the level.
I'm just heading over to Belfast International Airport, catching the air coach from Derry, heading to Manchester for a week to work. So I will take you with me so you can see what I see.
Whenever I head over to England, I do spend a lot of time on different forms of transport, coaches, buses, planes, trains, trams, and I don't really get much downtime a lot of the time. So this time I managed to find a pocket of time where I could head into Manchester and head into the Arndale so I could go and have a bit of a mooch around. I had heard, and because I haven't been in a while, that there's a fantastic cake stand in the Arndale. So I headed over to there to see if I could find it. Now, Manchester Arndale has changed a lot over the years, so I did have to have a look at the map to see if I could find it. And I did, and it did not disappoint. I'm really glad Martin wasn't with me because he had wanted a slice of it all, but I did manage to sneak a little slice for myself and did take it home with me. And then it was home time, back into Terminal 2 in Manchester Airport, and really was glad to be heading home.
Ready for heading home? Just going to my gate now at Manchester Airport. It's very quiet here today. It's definitely a nice experience. Seat security within no time at all. And yeah, everything's great. So looking forward to seeing Martin the Green and being back on the Emerald Isle.
Well, I'm not long back from England and Martin's been doing a grand job on the bench in the carport, and while he was doing that he added some extra CCTV in there as well, mainly for our peace of mind if we are in the house by ourselves, and yeah, it's kind of just gives us that bit of extra security really. So the other night when we were heading to bed, we got a notification on our phone that there'd been movement in the carport. Firstly, we were both freaked out as to what the hell's going on down there. So we checked
the notification on the app to see what it was. And yeah, it freaked us both out. I'll let you figure out what it is.
Day 2 in the carport today. It's bitterly cold, -3 degrees centigrade, woolly hat time. You can see here the bench is starting to come along. It is a load of leftover timber, which it looks a bit higgledy-piggledy. You can see it's perfectly level using my trusty old spirit level. I do treat myself to 3 brand new spirit levels after I showed this video because I was a bit ashamed. Now I just need to find some wood to use on the workbench on the top. You can see I've got quite a selection here. These pieces of joist I'm going to use for some planters in the next video. You can see some coat hangers there on the right hand side. I will reuse those at some point within the carport for outside coats, for instance, when you're coming in, so I don't have to hang them up inside the house dripping. There's always pallets galore. Can never find a good use for pallets, so any ideas, drop them in the comments. The OSB is no use for outdoors. It does get condensation in there under the metal roof, so I didn't bother with that. This piece of ply that I'm just looking at is too heavy for the job. It's very thick, probably an inch thick, that one. And the last piece, right at the very back, was ideal. And it just so happened that it was just about wide enough for the top of the bench. I just needed to sort out the length and then cut it to size. You can see here I'm just measuring the top, ready for the worktop. Measuring, always measure twice. From there I take a piece of wood or a straight edge and just draw a perpendicular line 90 degrees to the edge, ready for sawing. Using a little circular saw here, not using a guide. I've got a line drawn and you can see a little notch at the front of the saw, which is perfect. It's not going to be a perfect line, but it's going to be good enough for a worktop, for a workbench worktop. This one I didn't even bother drawing a line because that's just for attaching the hose pipe at the front. You can see it's a bit wobbly at the minute, but it is all just temporary. I do put a few more screws into each joist when I get some wood screws later on. Just checking the square on each corner, making sure it's ready for the worktop to go on. I just need it roughly in place at this point because I will make some finer adjustments when the worktop's on, because that may not be perfectly square either. Dropping the worktop on top. Hopefully it all lines up. It's just a little bit on the narrow side, but that was deliberate because I wanted a gap at the back so I could put a wood panel to the back and put some electrics up the back of it. And I also wanted a bit of an overhang over the drain at the side, just to close the gap between the drain and the window a little bit more. I managed to find some identical wood screws out of my pile of salvaged wood screws. These were just perfect for the worktop. You can see the drill is playing up at this point. It's not my filming, it is a dodgy drill. But that's half the problem when you use a drill as a screwdriver. I should really just purchase an impact driver. Maybe I'll put it on the Christmas list. And it's more or less looking finished at this point. It's much easier to cut the posts now that they're cut from the ground. Cutting at ground level is difficult. Higher up from the ground is much easier. Straight through, no problems there at all. I did think about removing the wall in the back corner, and then I realised it would make perfect sides for another workbench. So I used some of my scrap wood again to use it all up. I don't like to waste wood. If I can use it for something, I will find them a way. So this is going to be my little workbench for car supplies, things for cleaning the car polish, that sort of thing. Just some way to store it. Now that's a perfect fit. It's just ready for a trim around the edges. This piece of wood I'm cutting for the backboard for the workbench, so I'm going to put a piece of wood at the back of the bench so I can feed electrics through and an outside light. This is me just cutting the backboard for the workbench. Just checking it's the right size before I attach the wooden battens to the wall. That should do the trick.
Yay! Martin survived. Just about though. And this is only the beginning, because in the next video, Martin will be finishing the bench and we'll be starting on some planters ready for the garden. So there's plenty more DIY chaos coming your way very soon. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe as it helps our channel grow and you'll be notified when our videos go live. We've also set up our social media pages, Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Please come and follow along and join our community. We have lots of exciting things coming up and we would love for you to join us as we find our place in Ireland.